never wanted to be a killer. But now, I don't have a choice. The game doesn't end. Nobody tells you that when you sign up. You think it's just one night, one round of hide and seek. And if you win, you walk away with 50 grand. That's the lie they sell you. But if you make it to the end, if you survive, you don't get to leave. You become the seeker and the only way out. You have to pass it on, find someone else, make them take your place. And if you don't, they come for you. I tried to run, I really did. After they put me in that room and told me the rules, I waited, pretended to go along with it, acted like I understood. But the second I got out of there, I ran. I went off the grid, burned my phone, threw out my credit cards. I drove across the fucking country using cash, staying in motels that smelled like piss, avoiding cameras, avoiding everything. I thought maybe, just maybe, I could escape it. Then one night, in some nowhere town gas station in Tennessee, I got a message. No number, no contact, just a text that appeared on my burner phone like it had been sent by the air itself. We see you. I dropped my phone. My hands were ice cold. Then the lights flickered. I looked around. The cashier, a bored teenager, didn't seem to notice. The couple browsing the snack aisle didn't either. But outside, near the gas pumps, I saw him, the clown, standing in the dark. His painted smile gleamed under the flickering lights, his head tilted, slow and unnatural, like he was studying me. And then he lifted his hand, not waving this time, pointing at me. Tag, you're it. That was the night I learned the truth. You can't run, you can't hide, you play or you die. The first time I had to kill someone, I threw up. It was another game, another round, a new batch of desperate people who thought they were about to win life-changing money. I was dressed like them, worn clothes, a fake number pinned to my hoodie. I was supposed to blend in, make them think I was one of them. They had no idea. And then, at exactly 10 p.m., the masked men gave the countdown. 5 minutes to hide. They all ran. I stayed still. And when the time was up, I felt it, the shift. My body changed, not physically, not anything you could see. But inside, something clicked. I knew where they were. I could hear their breathing, feel their footsteps through the floor, smell the sweat, the fear clinging to their skin. I was the seeker now, and I had to hunt. The first kill was a girl. She couldn't have been older than 19. She had tried to hide inside a rusted-out locker, just like I had. I found her in minutes. She was curled up in the corner, her hands pressed over her mouth, shaking so bad the metal vibrated against her back. She didn't even see me open the door. When she looked up, her eyes locked onto mine. I saw the moment it hit her, the moment she realized I wasn't another player. I was something else. She tried to scream. I didn't let her. I pressed my hand over her mouth, shoving her back. Her head smacked against the locker wall with a sick crack. She fought, scratched, kicked. Didn't matter. The blade slid into her stomach like butter. Her body jerked. She made this awful choking sound, like she was trying to breathe, but her lungs weren't working. Blood spilled over my hands, hot and too much. I pulled the knife out, stabbed again. She twitched, then she stopped. I watched as the light left her eyes. Her body slumped forward, and I felt nothing. Not horror, not regret, nothing. Just relief, because I had to. By the time the night was over, I had killed 5. The rest didn't make it. Not because of me, because of him. The clown was still playing. He doesn't leave, he doesn't retire. He just waits, watches, makes sure the new seeker does their job. And if you don't, if you hesitate, if you let someone go, he takes you instead. I saw it happen. One of the other seekers hesitated when he found a man hiding in a supply closet, begging, pleading. He was crying, saying he had kids, he had a family. He didn't know this was real.
And the Seeker, the guy who was supposed to kill him, froze. A mistake. The clown stepped out of the shadows. He didn't speak, didn't make a sound, just grabbed the Seeker by the throat, lifted him like he weighed nothing, and tore his fucking head off. I saw the spine dangling, I saw the blood spray across the walls, and I learned I would never hesitate. That was over a year ago.
I don't even know how many I've killed since. The games never stop. The players never stop signing up. There's always someone willing to risk it for the money. And I always find them, always hunt them, because if I don't, I know who will, and I know what will happen to me. But I can't do this forever. I won't. I know my only way out. I have to pass it on, find someone desperate enough, make them play, make them seek. And when they do, when they take my place, I'll finally be free. I don't sleep anymore, not because I'm afraid, not because I have nightmares, because the game doesn't let me. I don't get normal nights. I don't get days off. The moment I close my eyes, I feel it. That sick pull in my gut, like something is dragging me back to the hunt. It's not just when the games start. It's always. I can hear them. The ones who played before, the ones who lost, the ones who are still running. I hear their screams in my head. I smell their blood before I even find them. And when I do find them, it's over in minutes. I don't hesitate anymore. Hesitation means death. I used to think the people signing up were all like me, desperate, homeless, broke, gambling addicts looking for a last chance. But I was wrong. Some of them, they're normal, 9-to-5ers, dads with 2 kids and a mortgage, college students trying to cover tuition. I once hunted a nurse, a fucking nurse. She worked at a hospital in Phoenix, signed up for the game because she was drowning in medical debt. She had no idea what she was walking into. I found her hiding in an old maintenance tunnel. She wasn't like the others. She didn't cry, didn't beg. She just looked at me, her face pale, her hands shaking. "You don't have to do this," she whispered. I wanted to believe her. I almost did. Then the lights flickered, the air got cold, and I felt him, watching, waiting. I don't know where the clown hides when the games are happening. I just know that if you stop, if you freeze, he appears. And what he does is worse than what I do. So I grabbed her by the throat. She gasped. I drove my knife into her ribs, once, twice. She let out this soft, broken sound before her body went limp. I let her slide to the floor. Blood pooled beneath her, mixing with the dirt. Her fingers twitched once before going still. I took a step back. The air around me shifted. The cold lifted. And I knew I was safe. For now. The worst ones are the fighters. The ones who don't just run and hide, but try to kill you first. I get it. If you figure out what's happening fast enough, you realize the only way to survive is to fight back. But it never works, not against me, not against us. One guy, big, built like a fucking linebacker, tried to take me out with a steel pipe. I heard him sneaking up behind me. I let him think he had a chance. Right up until I spun around and shot him in the throat. The gun was new. They let me use one now. The longer you play, the more they trust you. He collapsed, clutching his neck, making this disgusting, wet, choking sound. Blood leaked through his fingers, spilling onto the concrete. I watched him die, then I turned and kept going. That's how I survive now. Kill. Move on. Kill again. It's mechanical. It's easy. It's necessary. I don't feel anything anymore. Not guilt, not fear, not even satisfaction. Just nothing. But lately something's been changing. The game is getting worse. They are getting worse. I don't know if it's in my head or if it's real, but the people I kill, they don't stay dead. I see them. Not just in my dreams, not just in flashes of memory, in real life. I'll be driving down the highway and I'll look in my rearview mirror. And there she is, the nurse, sitting in my back seat, her dead eyes staring at me. Or I'll be at a gas station and out of the corner of my eye, I'll see the linebacker guy standing at the pump, his throat still shredded open, his body swaying like a puppet with cut strings. I blink, and they're gone. But I know what I saw, and it's getting worse. Every night, they get closer. I need to find someone. I need to pass this on before they take me, before I become one of them. I think I'm losing my fucking mind. The dead won't leave me alone. I see them everywhere now. At first, it was just glimpses, quick flashes in my rearview mirror, a reflection in a store window that disappeared when I turned around. But now they stare at me. They follow me. They know. And worst of all, they're whispering. A week ago, I checked into some rundown motel outside Houston, paid cash, no ID like always. I didn't even bother turning on the TV. I just sat on the bed, head in my hands, trying to breathe, trying to ignore the voices, software garbled, like a bad radio signal playing just under the surface of my brain. I heard the nurse. "You don't have to do this." I heard the linebacker guy.
"Please, man, please don't." And I heard others. So many fucking others. Too many to count. Too many to remember. All of them begging. All of them blaming me. I pressed my hands against my ears, but it didn't do shit. The voices weren't coming from outside. They were inside my fucking head. I don't sleep anymore, not just because of them, not just because I don't want to dream, because if I do, he will come. The clown, he's watching me. I don't know how I know, but I do. I can feel him. Somewhere out there, in the shadows, in the spaces between this world and whatever the fuck is behind it. He's waiting. Because he knows I can't keep going forever. He knows I need to pass it on, but I can't just pick anyone. I need to find someone desperate, someone like I was, someone who will take the bait without thinking, because once they take my place, I'll finally be free. It took a few days, but I found him. His name is Greg. Met him in a shitty bar in Dallas. He was drinking cheap whiskey, staring at his phone like it had personally ruined his life. I watched him for a while, observed, listened. Turns out Greg had problems. Lost his job last month. His wife left him a week later. His bank account was empty. And just yesterday, his landlord slid an eviction notice under his door. Perfect. Fucking perfect. So I bought him a drink. Started talking. Told him I knew about a way to make quick money. A lot of it. 50 grand one night, no strings attached. His eyes lit up. I could practically see the gears turning in his head. "That sounds too good to be true," he said, suspicious. I laughed. Told him I thought the same thing at first. Told him I played before, won big. That part wasn't a lie, and I could see it. The hunger in him, the desperation. He wanted to believe me, needed to believe me. So he did. I sent him the link, the same one I clicked, the same one that destroyed my fucking life. He hesitated, looked at me. "It's safe, right?" I smiled. Told him, "As long as you win." The game is tomorrow night. Greg is in. And me, if it all goes right, tomorrow will be my last night as a seeker. Greg has no fucking idea what's coming. I watched him sign up, watched his hands shake as he paid the entry fee. He kept asking me questions. What's the catch? Who's running this? Have you actually played before? I lied. I told him it was just some rich assholes betting on desperate people, that it was dangerous but doable. I told him to be smart, to hide well, to not get caught. I told him exactly what I wanted to hear before my first game, and just like me, he bought it. The game is happening in an abandoned mall this time. I arrive early, blending in with the other seekers. They don't acknowledge me, but I can feel it. The acceptance. They know I belong now. I don't know who they are. I don't know if they were ever normal. I just know we're all the same. And soon, Greg will be one of us. Unless he loses. Then he'll be nothing.
At exactly 10 p.m., the players are gathered. Greg is among them, looking nervous but determined. He keeps glancing around like he's expecting something to feel off. He has no fucking clue. The masked men give the countdown. 5 minutes to hide. The players scatter. Greg runs. I stay still. And then I feel it. The shift. The change. I know where he is. I feel his heartbeat. It's time to hunt. I find my first target fast. A teenage kid who thought hiding under an escalator was a good idea. He never sees me coming. I grab him by the throat, slam him against the tile floor. His eyes go wide with panic. No, no, please, I slice his throat before he can finish. Warm blood sprays across my hands. He twitches, makes a horrible choking noise, and then nothing. One down. Not Greg. I keep moving. Greg is hiding in a broken-down sunglass hut. I don't go to him first. I make him wait. I take out 2 more players before I finally head in his direction. I let the blood dry on my hands, let the smell of it fill the air. I want him to feel it. I want him to understand. By the time I reach him, he's trembling. He's curled up in the corner, gripping a broken piece of metal like a weapon. He knows. He fucking knows. I step inside the store, slow, deliberate. I make sure my shadow stretches across the floor before he sees me. His breath catches, his whole body goes stiff. And then he looks at me, really looks at me, and I see it. Not fear, not shock, betrayal. Like I've done something awful, like I've destroyed something he thought was real. And for the first time in so fucking long, I feel something. A tiny, horrible twinge of guilt. But it's too late. The air shifts. The room gets cold. I hear it behind me. Laughter. He's here, the clown. I turn, but I already know what I'll see. His painted face grinning in the dark, his body twisted, his arms too long, his head tilting in that unnatural, awful way. I know why he's here. I hesitated. I fucked up. I grab Greg by the arm, hauling him to his feet. Run. His eyes widen, but he doesn't argue. We bolt. Behind us, the laughter gets louder. He's coming. We run. Faster than I've ever run before. Faster than I knew I fucking could. Greg is ahead of me, bolting through the wreckage of the mall, dodging broken glass, leaping over overturned kiosks. His breathing is ragged, panicked, but he's alive. For now. I don't look back, but I feel him. The clown. He's coming. The air is freezing. The walls are warping. The space around us doesn't feel real anymore. The game is shifting. It knows I broke the rules. And now, I'm not the hunter. I'm the prey. We tear through the empty food court. Chairs are scattered. Old trays covered in dust. Neon signs flickering. Ahead, I see an emergency exit. It won't work. They never do. But Greg doesn't know that. He slams into the door, throwing his entire body weight against it. It doesn't budge. His hands claw at the handle, desperately pulling. "Open, you fucker! Open!" I grab him, yank him back just as the lights flicker and everything goes dark. I can't see. I can't breathe. The air is thick, heavy, wrong. Like I've been dropped into the bottom of the fucking ocean. Then I hear it. Not laughter anymore. Breathing. Right behind me. I know what happens next. I've seen it before. This is where I die. I should have played by the rules. I should have finished what I started. I should have killed Greg. But instead, I grab his arm and shove him forward. "Fucking run!" He stumbles, turns back. "What about you?" I don't answer, because I know there's no way out for me, only him. I turn to face the dark. I see him, the clown, towering over me. His suit is torn, blood-stained. His head tilts. That painted smile stretched too fucking wide. He doesn't speak. He just lifts a hand and points at me. Tag, you're it. Pain. Fucking pain. White hot. Tearing through me like my whole body is being ripped apart from the inside out. I drop to my knees, choking, shaking. My vision blurs. My limbs seize. I'm dying. Number, I'm changing. The last thing I see before everything goes black is Greg. Running, surviving, escaping. And then, I'm gone. I don't know how long the darkness lasts. It feels like forever. And then suddenly I wake up. I'm standing. My body feels wrong, stiff, hollow. I try to move, but I don't feel control anymore. Like I'm watching through my own eyes, but I'm not the one inside. And then I see my reflection. There's a shattered mirror near the food court. Cracked and filthy, but enough to show me what I need to see. It's not me, not anymore. My face is smeared with paint. My mouth is stretched too wide. My eyes, black pits, empty, gone. I open my mouth to scream, but no sound comes out. Only laughter, loud, broken, wrong. 'Cause I am not me. I am him now. And the game never ends.